You finally get a day off. A real one, nothing scheduled, no obligations, nowhere you have to be. And instead of sinking into it with relief, you spend the first hour feeling vaguely restless and the second hour feeling guilty for not being productive. And then you spend the rest of the day doing things that kind of look like rest but don't actually feel like it. Sound familiar? Then this is your video. We've been sold a very specific image of burnout, the person who finally breaks, the dramatic collapse, the moment where it all becomes too much. But that's not how most burnout actually arrives. For most people, especially the capable, responsible, high-functioning ones, burnout is a slow accumulation. It's months of giving a little more than you have. It's skipping the recovery because there's always something more urgent. It's the slow narrowing of your world until the only things left are obligations. And because you're still functioning, still showing up, still delivering it, doesn't register as a crisis. So you don't treat it like one. And it quietly deepens. Real burnout is not just tiredness. It's the erosion of your ability to care. When things that used to matter to you start feeling flat, when you can't find enthusiasm for things you used to love, when even good news lands without the warmth it should have, that blunting, that emotional numbness is your nervous system protecting itself. It's not a character flaw. It's a warning signal you've been ignoring for a while. Here's the part that doesn't get talked about enough. Many of us have lost the ability to rest. Not because we don't have time, but because we have a complicated relationship with stillness. If your sense of worth is tied to your productivity, and for a lot of people it is, because that's what was modeled or rewarded growing up, then rest feels like a threat. It feels like falling behind. It feels irresponsible even when it's necessary. So you fill the silence, you scroll, you find small tasks, you stay busy in ways that don't actually restore you, because true rest would require you to sit with yourself. And sitting with yourself might mean feeling the things you've been too busy to feel, the exhaustion underneath the exhaustion, the loneliness you've been outrunning, the grief about the life that isn't quite what you planned, the fear that if you slow down, all of that will catch up with you. And it might, but here's the thing. It's already with you. You're already carrying it. You're just carrying it while also running, and that is so much heavier. I want to be honest with you about what doesn't work. Pushing through, waiting until you have less to do, taking one vacation and expecting to be fixed. These are temporary patches on something that requires structural change. What actually helps is giving yourself permission to be depleted, to stop pretending the tank is full when it isn't. That starts with honesty, just to yourself privately. I am tired. I have been for a while. Something needs to change. Then it's about identifying what's draining you most and asking honestly, not just automatically whether that thing has to happen that often, has to happen done by you. And it's about practicing actual rest, not passive distraction, genuine restoration, the things that fill you back up. For some people, that's quiet and solitude. For others, it's connection. For others, it's movement or creativity. But it has to be intentional because your default setting right now is doing more. One more thing. Burnout is often relational as much as it is workload. Sometimes the most depleting thing in your life isn't your job. It's the relationships that only take the ones where you're always the one holding it together, where you perform okayness because someone else can't handle it if you're not. Noticing that naming it is also part of this. You are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to admit it. You are allowed to change something before you break. You don't have to wait for a crisis to justify taking care of yourself. The exhaustion you feel right now is reason enough. Rest is not a reward. It's not something you earn at the end of a productive stretch. It is a basic requirement for being a functional, alive human being.